Let me just get the date out of the way. It is the 28th day in the month of March, 2022. And it's a Monday morning. My name is Richie B.
Blessings, Bridge Nation. You know it's your boy Shellz.
Good morning, Bridge Nation. It's the girl Queen JoJo.
All right, morning, Bridge Nation. This is your boy DJ Audley.
All right. We say good morning to our Bridge Nation here in Jamaica and around the world. Do you think our conversations off here ought to spill over on here?
Of course, why not?
Now, let me just tell you guys right up front, talk to me proper or else you might get a Will Smith. I mean, at least you're forewarned because Chris Rock didn't get any warning whatsoever.
Not at all.
Who watched the Oscars? We did.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Richie, thank you for sending that message to go watch the Oscars in the first place.
Yes.
Telling you.
Yeah, well,
hilarious.
I noticed that you watched it based on one of the things that you forwarded to me in the night.
Man, listen. That situation was unnecessarily hilarious, and I give thanks for it because I don't know what the Oscars was before it. And I certainly don't know what happened after. It was necessary.
Yeah, man.
The Oscars are back.
With a bang.
With a bang. Literally.
Almost with a thump. Or a smack. Or a slap. I don't know. How, Jody.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not mad at Will. I'm sorry. I'm not mad at Will at all. And the behind the scene footage of Will saying keep my name out your mouth, and you know he was
my wife's name
out your mouth. He was upset, you know, from behind the scene. And I think this is a lesson to everybody. I get it, you know, want to be funny, but at some point you gotta stop because that's somebody's family, that's somebody's wife.
You think Chris knew that Jada has this hair loss issue?
Yes, because
alopecia.
Jada has been very outspoken about it, very open about it
since last
often,
December. Yeah.
Every time she talk about it, and even so, you don't know what persons are going through. So some joke, you can't run joke about man wife. No matter what you think a man wife that.
Oddly, you take a different view?
Listen, fully. Yeah, that was just outright rude. You understand?
Oh, from Will.
Man, yo, listen, if you have that problem, right, you come to a premiere show like that. You understand? And it doesn't matter about your emotions for then. Right now.
You're saying you should try to work it out afterwards.
Yes, because guess what? They're both comedians, and I'm pretty sure that will make a lot of jokes off people. You understand?
The issue has divided Hollywood because there are some who are saying ain't nothing wrong with it. Some who are saying Chris was rude, and some who are very, very upset with the action taken by Will Smith.
Of course.
And he apologized afterwards, but not to Chris.
Not to Chris.
So just that's to make it clear that he's not sorry for smacking him because you just don't talk about someone. Talk about my people is another problem. Somebody can't be another problem with Will Smith.
We'll keep this conversation
going. Yeah, that's what I reserve my thoughts.
We want to get all right.
Yeah.
And that's going to be at 6:30, by the way. We want to get some comments from our listeners as well. This is the hot topic in entertainment right now. The slap that Will Smith gave to Chris Rock because he felt that he had insulted his wife Jada. I wonder if Will, this is March. Will he be upset like this come August?
Whoa. Well done. Well done, Richie.
Oh my God, that was brilliant.
Well done,
that was
Richie.
brilliant.
Let them talk. Let's go on to some music, man. Right now, it's time for WTF.
What the fact?
And there's a short one. I'm going to take it. I know that Shellz will have a comment or two. Now, we're looking at the heading. Boston was nearly destroyed by a flood of molasses, according to this WTF. While a tidal wave of sweet, sticky molasses racing through a city at nearly 35 miles per hour might sound comical, the reality was tragic. In the year 1919, a huge tank of molasses at a distillery near Boston's North End ruptured, sending 2.3 million gallons of the thick goo rushing into Kearny Square, where it threw debris around while causing severe damages to buildings and railways and caused the water in the harbor to run brown for at least 6 months. The human cost was high as well. 21 people were killed and another 150 were wounded as a result. Wow. In fact, during this tragedy.
Wow.
Shellz, that's a fact.
That's a sticky situation right there.
It is
true. I could have helped it. Sorry. But no, yeah. You know, as it rightfully said, you think it would be something funny when you think about it, but to say all that damage and human life lost and stuff. Wow, that was 1919.
Yeah, it's a long time ago. 2.3 million gallons of the thick gooey stuff. When I saw it first, I was like, can molasses do that much harm?
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah. I was like, but apparently they can.
I guess it can.
I'm just imagining.
Sad to know that 21 people lost their lives.
Yeah, I'm wondering. I'm trying to imagine if that happened in Jamaica, how we would react.
Well, thankfully, I don't keep more than a 200 milliliter bottle at home.
Yeah,
it's not something that I use a lot. So I wouldn't be blamed for any molasses.
Yeah,
not even as much as a gallon.
I can imagine the next day everybody has sell molasses at home.
You think Jamaicans would crowd it like they do when a chicken a truck with live chickens turn over or flour or sugar rice for that matter?
Or people are survivors, Richard.
Yeah. In this instance, they would be running for their lives.
Yeah. They would have come back after, though.
Yeah, I tell you. That was WTF.
What the fact?
Join us again tomorrow morning at 6:25. We'll have another one for you right here on Up and Go. Time for
Update.
Whew. There's one story that we're going to take in this update. We're looking at the Oscars, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And shall we just get the business out of the way first?
Why not?
Yes, why not?
So we want to say congratulations to the winners of the Academy Awards at the Academy Awards 2022. Best Picture, Coda. I haven't seen it yet.
No, neither have I.
The only film that I've seen is King Richard. And you know who starred that. We'll get to that in a short while from now. Best Director, Jane Campion for Power of the Dog. Best Actor, Will Smith in King Richard.
Let's go.
Sorry, I took that back. Best Actress, Jessica Chastain in The Eyes of Tammy Faye. Best Supporting Actor, Troy Kotsur in Coda. Best Supporting Actress, Ariana DeBose in West Side Story. Congratulations, Best Animated Film, Encanto.
Of course.
What a performance from Beyonce at the start of it. Best Original Screenplay, Belfast. Best Adapted Screenplay, Coda.
Yes.
Best Production Design, Dune.
Of course.
Best Cinematography, Dune.
Of course.
Best Film Editing, Dune.
Of course.
Best Costume Design, Cruella. Best Visual Effect, Dune.
You know.
Best Makeup and Hairstyling, The Eyes of Tammy Faye. Best Original Score, Dune.
Right.
Best Sound, Dune.
Of course.
You can tell that Dune won a whole lot of awards. Best Song, No Time to Die.
That's good. That was good.
Best International Feature, Drive My Car. And Best Documentary Feature, Summer of Soul. Best Animated Short, The Windshield Wiper. And they didn't come to Jamaica to actually. Best Documentary Short, The Queen of Basketball. And Best Live Action Short, The Long Goodbye. That's ironic. But having said that, we just got the business of the Oscars out of the way by saying congratulations.
Yes.
There are some moments that we know will be long remembered.
Yes.
We were talking off air about the deaf actor who
Troy Kotsur.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was
That
quite
speech was
amazing.
amazing. The whole thing was amazing.
yeah.
We give thanks. Second deaf person in history.
Doing.
What really got me, because I never knew that was a thing when they were applauding. They
Yeah.
just waved their hands. I never knew that was a thing. So
Yeah.
That's
for us,
the
the viewers,
applause.
we learned something in the process. So it was nice, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Right,
Okay.
bro. Yep.
Is it time?
It's that time. We have different
but I wouldn't
opinions on this slap in the face by Will Smith to Chris Rock because Chris sort of was trying to be funny and
he
included
was.
included Jada Pinkett Smith. First of all, we want to put it out there that she does have a hair growth issue.
Alopecia.
Right.
Yes.
And it's nothing to be to joke about, really.
that.
Right.
But was it that serious a joke that should make Will leave his seat,
You
go
wanna
up
go
and
first? You wanna go
slap the man as hard as he could in
Well,
his face?
if you yes, and this is my opinion. This does not reflect the cast at all.
Don't you?
All right, so Jada beside Will, because they show different persons are videoing the reaction of them, and Jada was not amused by it.
From the get-go.
And if your wife not amused by it, you're not amused by it either.
Okay.
I'm just saying,
That's
it's
fair.
simple.
It seems though, as we were saying, Shellz, that Will got the
I'm
joke
getting to
initially.
that. No.
Right.
It
So
seems
watch
because
this
he
now.
smiled.
Watch this
because
now.
that's what they do. But when you turn around
I
and
already
see your
know
wife
what's happening.
hurting,
Remember, Jada expressed her anger in
Yes.
her reaction, her facial reaction.
Yes.
Will smiled.
Will was laughing.
And then
out of nowhere. So let me tell you, right? First and foremost, I just want to say that this situation was more entertaining than some of the movies that were getting the awards last night. Zine, no matter what way you look at it.
If you're not Chris Rock.
No matter which way you look at it.
okay too, you know.
Yeah, whichever way you look at it, we'll never have to go up there, right? What I believe happened, though, as Richie rightfully said, from the joke drop, Jada wasn't pleased.
Yeah.
Will was laughing because as a fellow comic, he got it.
Yeah.
People, if you never see G.I. Jane before, it's a very powerful movie. Demi Moore did a wonderful job. From that movie drop, any girl will get a buzz cut, referred to G.I. Jane, right? So what happened is the man say, oh, G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. Now, the real question is, did Chris Rock know that she has alopecia? That's the real question. If he didn't, then it was not a joke.
Did you guys see the video of Will cursing expletives and saying keep my wife's name out?
So that's what I'm saying now. Right after, when him laughing on the camera cut, what I think happened, I'm going to be a real Jamaican right now and just speculate. What happened is, him look to Jada and nothing more than she saying her little sassy voice, that ain't funny. And him I forgot defend it because we all know the masculinity tension between him and Jada right now. And him go there and him chip, as Harley said, we just witness a man chip well lick.
No,
it's probably even go deeper than Chris Rock.
But him could have hit.
They have a history.
Yes.
Because in 2016, if you recall, when Chris Rock was hosting, he actually pulled a few on Jada, who absented herself from the Oscars that year, and he pulled some really all right, some hard jokes, really. Exactly, and this is what I'm saying. At some point, you have to stop because these are human beings. And this is a relationship. So no matter what we think or how we feel about the situation, say, oh, this has happened before or whatever, at some point it's too much. At some point you go too far. Because it's so funny. After that, Denzel Washington ran to him, Tyler Perry, and that white guy, I can't remember his name right now, went to him as well and was like, you know, well, understand how you feel, but, you know, take it easy. You have to, at some point, you have to stop. If you keep poking somebody, you're gonna get a reaction. What is Harley?
Listen, I am just totally upset over the entire situation. I mean, fine, I understand his emotions and stuff, right? But you don't do that.
No, too big man.
You don't do that. And let me tell you, I believe that they have beef from before this. But guess what? They are both comedians, and I'm pretty sure. Listen. I know Will to basically jab people, right? Right, and they don't respond to him like that. You understand? Listen, it's comic.
Let me tell you, Richie. There's a comedian who normally does the Oscars by the name of Ricky Gervais. If Ricky Gervais was there, the joke would have been a lot harsher. I would have tackled the relationship itself. Yeah, that's what they do when comics host, and when they come out, they roast.
And that is why that is why I said, if Will is so upset in March, can you imagine when August comes?
That is still such a good one.
I think it's so much more, but I'm not mad at Will at all. After a while, family's off limit. After a while, I've had too much.
What surprised me is that there was no action apparently taken by the Oscars.
No, because they said they don't. They put out a tweet saying that they don't condone violence.
Yeah, but really, I actually was thinking that he would have been ejected, removed from the audience.
And he just won his first Oscar.
Richie, I know that first time.
Yeah.
It was so beautiful.
Let me ask another question quickly.
It was so beautiful.
Hold on, let me ask another question quickly.
Yeah.
Right? Devil's advocate. All right. You think if that joke, right, was presented by maybe
Ricky Gervais,
a white guy,
he would do it. I'm not gonna go. If Ricky Gervais did that,
he would have gone up there and
not at all. Not at all. Will would have done.
Done behind the scenes.
I'm not speculating anything.
You think he won back the audience with his tear-filled
Some persons understood. I looked at I watched I was up like 3 a.m. this morning, and I was checking. And I checked, and I was checking, and most persons were saying, "We get it, Will. We understand. It's too much now, and at some point you stop."
Listen.
And again, I'm saying we're speaking from the perspective of how is a celebrity supposed to know to act. But I'm telling you, as a human being, if you continue to mess with me, continue to poke me, I'm gonna slap you too.
I have one more comment. I have one more comment. During that tearful speech, he mentioned being like King Richard, right?
Yeah.
I'm wondering
Richard
if this
Williams.
is a spillover of method acting. Because he was saying that, no, it's a serious issue in
Yeah,
Hollywood,
true,
you
they
know.
have that
He
problem.
started his speech
Yeah.
with that.
Yes.
Because what
Richard
happened,
Williams-
Richard Williams is like that, you know.
Yes.
When it
Known
comes
to
to
defend
defending
his
his
family.
family. You know?
Yes.
So it could be a spillover
Yeah,
from method
that's
acting. You know,
possible too.
It's a psychological thing, which is why Denzel tackled him
Yeah,
off camera and say, yo, look, I get it.
Yeah.
Breathe.
Yeah.
Will Smith
So,
now
yeah.
joins Sidney Poitier, Denzel Washington, Jamie
Beautiful.
Foxx, and Forrest Whitaker
Yeah, man.
as the only 5 black men to
Beautiful.
win
Congrats
the
to them.
Oscar.
We have to give
So,
thanks because
yeah.
it was a good performance, man.
Indeed.
But I'm just saying, I was there when they were calling his name. I was like, "Am I really gonna win? Because if he win this is gonna just be like the perfect story."
And
like,
it was perfect,
and it
right?
was perfect.
Yeah.
He did not apologize to
Chris, though.
I don't
Chris.
think he's sorry.
It felt like the royal apology all over.
He apologized to the Academy,
Yeah, to the Academy.
and to his peers and everybody else.
Yes, but Chris did not. But Chris said that was the greatest night
What
in
a
history
professional
of
man.
television.
What a professional man.
He said it was the greatest night.
He was totally discombobulated. by
He
the way.
was shocked. Did you
I
see
mean,
his
yeah,
face?
Chris.
was like, what?
I mean, Chris was talking. He was there to give out an award,
Award?
in a
Documentary.
documentary.
Yes.
And he was saying something like, "I'm about to give out the documentary for the Oscar." He was totally mixed
Man,
up.
bottom lip a quiver. Yeah, full of water.
Yeah.
But in poetry, 'cause
It's not easy. I mean, the last time I was hit on stage, it was by accident, and it was difficult for me to come back after that.
Yeah.
You know the story.
Yeah, man. Yes, we do.
But boy, I would not have liked to be in Chris's position.
Just looking at the
all.
audience weird.
And I don't think I'd have taken it the way he did either.
No, sir, no Jamaican
And for
would have
that,
done
you have to
No.
give him. You have to give him his props.
That's why I said
Yes.
professionalism
No, man,
was
big ups
key.
to
props.
Chris. Big
Yeah.
ups to Chris too. But
Yeah,
you
man.
know,
Yeah.
man, I defend him family. and all that.
Time for the proverb.
Proverb of the day.
Let's get to it.
So this morning Proverbs, I'll be reading it. Bad thing never got owner.
See that? Perfect.
So that's the proverb for this morning.
Sorry, will you repeat that for me, please?
Yes, please.
Bad thing never got owner.
Yeah.
And the meaning of this proverb is no one wants to take responsibility for a mistake or a bad situation.
Boom. How fitting.
Will we now move on to the next feature? Let's do that.
Let's move on to our pet peeve.
Yeah.
Our pet peeve comes from one of our listeners sharing her just how annoyed she is with her co-worker.
Oh,
Really.
man.
Let's hear it.
Co-workers.
Oh, no.
Jody, what person do annoy me mostly is at my workplace where I'm a person who normally send their pay to their account. And there are times like yesterday when I send it. And I send it from Tuesday. When a certain person went to the machine yesterday, she came back and said there wasn't no money to the account, and it annoys me all the while when they do that because I keep saying to them I'm just the person who send it to the account. I don't know what my boss account is like. I don't know how much money is in there. So if you do go to the machine and don't get any pay, please to speak to your boss about it. Don't speak to me about it. And every time that certain person goes to the machine, it's me she keep calling or texting to say she don't get any pay.
What? I almost
The
said,
one worker keep doing that because she's specific about this.
Yeah. It's one person.
she must hear so she had a chief accountant. I wonder what job she does at her
Yeah,
workplace.
that means it.
You know, maybe she
my
works in the
God.
accounting department or something.
No, she's
Please don't tell me. Please don't tell me it's like somebody at the what level now? Maybe the person who cleans up.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
but it's almost like she assists and she probably send the names of the
Beer,
person
maybe.
or
Oh.
something, and then she's like, "Why you keep coming to me?"
You know what?
Like, but it's only one person keep coming to her,
Oh,
so
so
maybe
that's where
she
the
like
pet
she
peeve come
assists,
in.
maybe she's the assistant of the boss or something, so she keep coming to
It's not
her.
the bureau. To be getting that kind of flack and you're not even near that
I'm like,
level.
she's like, leave me alone, man.
Yeah.
I wonder if she just used our show as a channel for to say, oh, to that person. Just allow me.
Maybe feel so too because you're very specific, you know.
Just allow
so
me.
I feel like the person listened to, so maybe they're hearing this morning.
Maybe the last payday for bother me. Don't do it again.
Don't do it again.
Maybe they have a history like Will and Chris.
Yeah, well, you know, such person, just leave me alone. You know.
Please, such person.
Yeah, that can be annoying.
Is that something that would upset you?
Of course.
Well, I'm sure. I think so. It's not a little personal. What's this?
There is a very important issue that we'd like to discuss in this segment, Shellz.
Yes, sir.
And we are, in fact, going to be joined by Dr. Lloyd Barnett, who will be our guest momentarily. He's a well-known attorney-at-law. And the matter has to do with information that was gleaned in an article that was published yesterday. The Electoral Commission of Jamaica, the ECJ, has been apparently believed to have been granting privately owned credit bureaus and other financial institutions paid verification access to the island's voter identification database with the country's information commissioner. It is believed she might have admitted that her office is not yet in a position to determine whether this was in fact a breach of legislation. Between 2019 and 2021, the ECJ, it is said, made approximately $300,000 on the 2 contracts with credit bureaus, providing an online service for the authentication of voter ID cards with data restricted to that presented on the cards. And it said that according to the ECJ, now, it is also believed that almost $1 million was made from 8 financial institutions under a similar arrangement over the same period. Now, these are obviously raise issues of concern as it relates to our Data Protection Act and whether or not it was breached. Dr. Lloyd Barnett, well-known attorney-at-law, joins us at this time. Good morning, Dr. Barnett. Welcome. How are you today?
Morning, sir.
Good morning. Morning to everyone.
Thank you for joining us, Dr. Barnett. You might have been aware through this article of some possible breaches that might have been committed. How serious would those be from your perspective?
Well, the article didn't identify what are the breaches. It was very generalized. The Act imposes an obligation on persons with sensitive data to protect it from improper disclosure and to maintain certain standards in relation to its custody. Now, we do not know what is the nature of the contract that was signed, but we start from the beginning, and that is that the identification cards are presented by the owners to the financial institutions with the intention that it should be used for the verification of their identification. So it is consensual.
These issues, I'm sure, are the kinds that would make people become alarmed and prefer, in many instances, not to support the NIDS bill going forward. Do you think this might impact the government's ability?
I don't think so. You know, from the beginning, these identification cards, although came into being because of the requirements of the electoral system, Jamaicans generally use it for the purposes of their identification. Those who did not have passports or driver's license habitually use their electoral ID cards for their identification. So it is a means by which transactions are facilitated by those who need to be identified. So it is the person who owns the identification card who gives it to the financial institution or agency, whatever that might be, to use it for the verification of their identities. So the person who owns the sensitive data is the person who consents to its use.
In circumstances like these, Dr. Barnett, what really would be seen as a constitutional breach of one's privacy?
Well, in most cases, matters of that nature are greatly influenced by whether the person whose privacy is infringed has consented to the abridgment of the privacy. In other words, if I invite somebody into my home, then the privacy of my home is reduced by the invitation. And consent is normally a method by which those things are qualified.
Okay. Dr. Barnett, well, we all know that the ECJ, they issued a statement that, saying that, the allegations are false. But as Richie rightfully mentioned earlier, this can cause a little ripple effect, as it relates to, people's confidence in the system overall. Going forward, what would you suggest are ways for people in general to just protect their privacy?
I think the standards should be clear. That must be maintained, because if the identification material is made available to some person, then they have to have an obligation to safeguard it and make sure it doesn't get into the wrong hands. So the standards are going to be very important in the administration of the Act. And generally, I would think that any agreement made by a person who is in custody of sensitive data for the release of such data should have very strict rules and conditions as to how the data is stored, used, or processed.
I'm actually now laying hands and my sight on a release from the EOJ, Dr. Barnett, under the heading, ECJ is not selling voters' data and is categorically denying the false claims being made, it's said, by the Gleaner writer. Just to read the first two paragraphs, the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, the ECJ, is dismayed by the article posted in the Sunday Gleaner dated March 27, 2022, with the erroneous headline, ECJ selling voters' data, and is categorically denying the false claims being made by the Gleaner writer. The second paragraph reads, the ECJ/Electoral Office of Jamaica does not sell access, nor has it granted access to the elector registration voter identification database, which includes electors' biometric and demographic information. The EOJ has created an extract of the ID card database for the purpose of ID verification that is granted to mainly government-regulated institutions. Is that bit of information heartening coming from the EOJ at this time?
It doesn't really deal with what was the subject matter of the article, in my view, because the article had indicated from responses made to questions directed to the ECJ. Those answers had indicated that there was, in fact, an arrangement with third parties in respect of the verification of the identity. And the question is, how was that done? What standards were prescribed in the agreement? And to what extent was the particular owner of the identification card made aware of the system which was being utilized?
So there are still some matters of concern, is what you're saying.
Yes, I don't think that quite clarifies. What you have read, I'm not sure if it's the whole of the statement.
No.
I don't think it quite clarifies what you have read doesn't really clarify the questions which have been raised.
Right. And, since I have you on and it's not a long release, I'm just going to go through quickly. It says the database utilized by these entities of electors, voters' ID, and card information assists with authentication of voter ID cards, which are required by these entities to be presented by the elector who owns the card, and therefore necessitates authorization, which requires the verification of the information of the EOJ ID service. It says the EOJ voter ID card, which is regarded as the national ID card and is widely used across the country for opening bank accounts, collecting remittances and facilitating access to loans at a number of entities. Like many other forms of identification in Jamaica, requires corroboration by the responsible organization which houses and maintains such a database, who is this in this context is the EOJ/ECJ, as mandated by the representative the Representation of Peoples Act, ROPA, from those basically using the voter ID card. Does that add much more meat?
Well, yeah, well, that deals with the first point I made.
Yes.
And with the basic issues. The remaining question is, what are the prescribed standards, the contractual standards, for making sure that nothing goes amiss with the data.
Okay. So if I should ask you in closing, what are some pointers that we should bear in mind as far as the way forward is concerned? What would you say to us, Dr. Barnett?
Firstly, it must be clear that the owner of the ID has consented to its use and the manner in which it is handled. Secondly, there should be prescribed or specified standards as to how it is stored, accessed, and otherwise used.
Dr. Barnett, it's always a pleasure talking with you. I thank you for your time this morning, and I wish you a great day. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
All the best.
All the best to you, Doc. All right. Very learned gentleman.
Yeah, man.
Always learn so much when we speak with him. Just to close out, by the way, it's very small print, and even my 4 eyes are having difficulty. But the final paragraph in the release from the EOJ actually says, and this is as relates to the fee, the fee that is charged to these institutions in need of verifying electors' card information is the actual cost for maintenance of this replica database, and not a scheme for the ECJ/EOJ to be profiteering from the personal information of its stakeholders. So I think some damage has been done.
Of course.
And they're trying to clear it up. We'll see what happens over the next few days.
Yeah, it's a really good question you asked about how people going to react to NIDS after this. Because,
yeah, because
Jamaicans not trust easily. You know.
A lot of suspicion and
and
almost fear by many out there already. And so this is definitely going to be a problematic, so to speak.
And it's time for Tech This. Now, you know, this is my feature where I will be highlighting, you know, various technological advancements all over the world. And this one is no exception. I can't believe this exists. This is called the Electric Unicycle. Yeah, as if the original one never weird enough, no. So apparently the Electric Unicycles, or EUCs, joined the world of portable battery-powered vehicles like electric scooters, hoverboards, and electric skateboards. The standard electric unicycle is a one-wheel vehicle that contains a motor, battery, and other electronic parts. There are 2 pedals, one on each side of the wheel where the rider stands. It's important to note that some unicycles have padded seats, which can make the long rides more comfortable. Now, unlike electric skateboards, electric unicycles don't use a remote control. They are more like hoverboards in that they use gyroscopic technology. As the rider, your movements dictate the speed and direction of the wheel. So when you lean forward, the motherboard in the electric unicycle detects the movement and knows to accelerate. And when you lean back, the wheel knows to slow down, and it allows you to come to a complete stop. Now, it's important to note that most electric unicycles can only go up to about 60 to 80 miles per hour, some of them. And a lot of persons out there, Richie, are trying to push the envelope and try to find out how fast it can go. But some of these technology, some of these unicycles, when you go too fast, it beeps, and if you ignore the beep, it has a safety feature where the wheel just stops. So a lot of persons have been getting some serious injuries trying to push the limits. So why should you consider getting an electric unicycle? Well, Richie, like the article that you showed me, people are using this as an alternative with the rise in gas prices because it's easy to cut through traffic, maneuver through traffic. They're compact, they're lightweight, and very powerful. And as I said, most of them go very faster than the electric skateboards or scooters. Now, on average, the cost for the high-end electric unicycle will cost you something between $800 and $2,000 US. So yeah.
All right.
That's the electric unicycle.
Electric unicycle.
Look at
I'm looking at it on the screen.
That's the one without the seat. Yeah, so that's the one it's just legit at your ankles basically. And you just lean forward and it go fast, and you lean backwards. And
I don't know if I'd want to be on a unicycle that goes up to 80 miles.
Yeah, fast. Some of them very fast.
Bertrand, I think I would have difficulty on even Bolt Mobility, which has 2 wheels, much less on the unicycle.
My thing is, I don't know how they can work in Jamaica with our road them. Because if you really pay attention to the videos and the pictures, all of them road look smooth.
Yeah.
I don't think it ready for our road.
I saw a video where the rider was both on the sidewalk at some points and then in the middle of the road.
It can go on both.
Yeah.
So
I can see how you'd definitely save. I mean, obviously you'd avoid petrol costs and so on.
Yes, battery powered. Yeah.
I don't know. It'd take me. I don't know. It'd take me a long time to get comfortable on that unicycle.
Trust me.
You remember Bolt came out with his Bolt Mobility.
Yes.
And, I think that kicked off fairly well. It would be interesting to know how well it's doing.
What was it? Is that a scooter, right?
It was a scooter.
Yeah, electric scooter, right?
There's the image right there
with
2 wheels.
Yeah, doing very well in Europe. I think it was doing very well in Europe.
France, in particular in France, I think it was. So this brother has come with a new one. Let's see how well it does. Yeah. The kind of stuff that you care for us inside of Tech
This. Yes,
all right. Now, the Tech It to Them TITD program is implemented by the National Council on Drug Abuse, the NCDA, in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and Wellness, and is geared towards helping to empower and transform the lives of, homeless persons to enable them to reintegrate into society, reunite with their families, and become productive citizens. So they have been in operation for just over 14 years, providing services to over 800 homeless persons, and that puts them in a unique position. We're joined this morning, of course, by a very special guest at this time, and that is Daniel Bailey, who's going to tell us more about the TITD program and the like. Good morning, Daniel.
Hi, Daniel.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Up and Go here on the Bridge 99 FM. How's your morning so far?
Going good so far. Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure.
Right.
Go right ahead and tell us, Daniel, about the Tech It to Them program and the service you provide and so on, and the purpose for your own existence as well.
So as you rightfully said, we've been around for about 14 years, and we are in collaboration with the Ministry of Health. They fund our initiative where we help the homeless population, more specifically those who are at higher risk for substance misuse, and for HIV and STIs. So as a team, what we do, we take our service to them, as our name states, take it to them. All the services that they need, clothes, food, we try to reintegrate them back into society by linking with other social entities such as the Parish Council, Poor Relief, other ministries, PATH, Senior Citizens Clubs, RDD, just to help them get rounded and back into society with their families.
Nice. So we give thanks for that, Daniel. Now, how many homeless persons, homeless people have the program benefited? How many persons have been able to, be reintegrated back into society?
Well, reintegrated. We have specific cases.
Mm-hmm.
One and two cases. To give a definite number to say 100 have been reintegrated, I can't give that number right now. But we have one and two success cases where we help with like school. This year we're trying to get at least 150 back in across the country.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Are you in a position to say, Daniel, how many Jamaicans approximately are currently affected by homelessness? And further to that, what are your thoughts on how we can prevent homelessness from really happening in our society?
Repeat the first part.
First question is about how many homeless persons are there.
Sorry, I got a call coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Sorry, I'm not hearing her clearly.
No, I'm hearing her.
Okay.
I got a call coming in.
Yes,
okay. All right.
Yes.
All right, so you ready for us?
Yes.
Okay, no, so the question Richie asked was how many Jamaicans are you in a position to be able to tell us, how many Jamaicans are currently affected by homelessness? And is there anything we can do to prevent this from happening?
So we did a study. There was a study done by NCD and MOH, and they targeted about 600 persons, and 563 of them partaken in the study. So that's the number that we have today, and that study was done 2020 to 2021. So that's the figure we have now.
Okay.
And how can we prevent it? We need there are lots of persons who, what would you say now? Life decisions, so not going to school had a big part based on what the studies showed, that males who were not educated, they found themselves going back into the street. They left families, and women now who came from mostly abusive relationships and stuff like that, that's what kind of brought them to homelessness. Okay. They left that was their best peak based on living situations and how they were raised.
Daniel,
and that has substance use too, so they take the drugs and they just end up in the streets because of not being able to manage that.
I understand that you have an event coming up on the 31st of this month in Spanish Town. I think it's a health fair. In your capacity as project coordinator, what can you tell us that will be taking place at that event, and also how can the public get involved?
So that health fair is to target the persons who are in St. Catherine, and we want to bring RGD in. We are collaborating with the municipal corporation. They will be assisting to help us find all the persons in St. Catherine. We want to do dental services for our homeless people. We want to do barbering for them, just to help clean them up, bring some food and clothes. We'll be giving away care packages, toothbrush, toothpaste, stuff like that, and food packages as well. For those who are able to cook and dry goods, so they can have food for that event. We want to try to get persons their birth certificates so they can get business done, because we know that birth certificates are one of the piece of document that you need to get stuff done. So that's what we'll be doing, and we'll be at Spanish Town Infirmary. We'll be there from 10, and we will. The public can help donate clothes, because that's one of our biggest challenges, especially for our males, to find clothes for them. If you have other team stuff that you can donate as well. That will be much appreciated.
All right. Are there many other young persons like yourself involved in this project?
The entire team is we're young people.
Nice.
Very impressive.
You mean, that's great.
Very impressive.
Volunteers as well, because especially for Spanish Town, we're expecting over 300 persons, so we would need the help to come and just help navigate the services, handing out stuff, and just to ensure that each person gets what we have to offer.
Okay, so Daniel, so in terms of volunteering for that day specifically, how would people go about that? Did they just show up and say, no, we want to volunteer, and they'll be accepted?
And also visit the office to say you want to speak to persons from the team. So we have two offices actually, one in Kingston, 13 Lines Road, and also in Montego Bay, 10 Crescent. So you can go to any of the offices to say if you want to be a part of volunteering for our programs that we have coming up.
Okay, give thanks.
What time does the health fair kick off on March 31st?
It starts at 10.
10 o'clock in the morning. All right. We're really happy to have you on the program, and we want to commend you and the rest of the team, especially the youngsters like yourself, who are giving off your time and your energy to sort of helping to engender a better society. We are proud of what you're doing, and we applaud you and commend you. Thank you so much, Danielle.
So much. Thanks for having me. Thank you on behalf of our entire team.
All right.
Give thanks.
We appreciate what you do. Danielle Bailey, ladies and gentlemen, she's a project coordinator with the TITD program. That is the Take It to Them. Take It to Them.
Yes.
All right. Big up yourself, Daniel. Take care. All the best to you, and good luck with the project on, when is the 31st, by the way? Is later on this week.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Morning.
Living in love. Yeah. Living in love.
Oh.
Let me see what my brethren Richie B has to say. I would love to see our people living in love.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
100%. And we endorse that 100%, Roy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Man, what an Oscar.
If you didn't go there, I'd have threatened you with a Will Smith.
Listen, man.
Yep.
Man.
Yes, sir.
So,
Oh my goodness.
You know, I always like to resort to and go to the voice of reason. And Richie B, what is your thoughts?
Oh boy, I tell you, it's interesting you asked me that because I was just looking at a game-changing kind of reaction coming in from Nicki Minaj, who basically put out a fairly long post, part of which reads, "Imagine what it must feel like to be losing your hair to the point where you have to shave it bald. You think that's easy to deal with for anyone? You don't think she cried about that many times? And for the husband to sit there and see her eyes filling up with tears, it must have made him react." It was definitely something that we did not expect.
Not at all.
And we have been talking about it all morning. Something happened between the point where Jada gave her initial reaction to the comment from Chris Rock, and Will Smith, who initially smiled at the joke, and then obviously picked up either she said something or he saw something on his wife's face that made him react the way he did.
Bing bong.
But this is also coming from, I think, like 2016 it was.
Yeah, when Chris Rock hosted,
Yeah, when Jada boycotted the Oscars because Will was not nominated, and he kind of took a shot at her. So, it's like,
Is she still on TV? kind of thing. Yeah, it reached boiling point. But you never heard of any beef really between them as such?
No, not really. I mean, I think because of what took place at that Oscars years ago, there's some feelings might be carried. But to me, I mean, I understand you got to defend your wife. But there's a time and place, and sometimes we in the public eye have to know when to do certain things. So there's two sides to it. But at the end of the day, I think we as people of color, can you imagine what Sidney Poitier is saying right now?
Yeah.
All the fight that he fought for us to even be recognized in the Oscars. All the fight that Denzel Washington went through as a person of color to be recognized. So it's a double-edged sword. At the same time, understand, so you defend your wife, and I'm all for that. But I think it's more also what he said after sitting back in his seat.
Hey, DJ Roy, I was saying the same thing. We had that discussion right here, and let me tell you, that is my sentiment, meaning the platform to do that on is just, I mean, I understand. I understand the whole emotions and all of that, boss, but you understand me? And on top of that, you just got an award.
Well, he got it after.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But it's a pity that Denzel didn't have that conversation with Will prior, because it might have been a different night overall.
Powerful words by Denzel.
Yeah, indeed.
Powerful words by Denzel. But we'll see what happens. Of course, he has not pursued any legal action, Rick.
No.
So we'll see what happens there, but not yet. I don't think he will. He's a New York.
That's what I said.
Boy.
See, let's die. That's what I said.
Unless he has his eyes on a small island off the coast of the Caribbean, and he feels that by going forward with a lawsuit, he could easily buy that island out of the money.